Hello and welcome to a new episode of Other Record Labels. I'm your host, Scott Orr, where we talk about the art and culture of running an independent record label. Today we're going to be talking about cover songs and if and why and how they're good for you as a record label, releasing them from your artist, and why, if you're an independent artist, why releasing a cover song is maybe a good promotional idea, a creative endeavor. There's a lot of benefits. In fact, today I have 5 benefits to releasing a cover song. And so if you've thought about doing it, but you weren't sure if it was worthwhile, or if maybe you didn't think it was the right artistic move for you as an artist or as a record label, I'm going to try to convince you to give one a try. I've got 5 reasons. A huge shout out to this week's sponsor, Lander. Lander is our official digital distributor of other record labels, and we're so happy to partner with them. And I'm grateful to them for supporting our record label community. There are so many benefits to signing up with Lander. It's more than just getting 100% of your royalties and releasing unlimited releases and track splits and all of those fun things. But there's other stuff that they offer that comes included in your affordable annual subscription. And that includes things like online mastering. They have tons of free plugins if you are a producer or a recording musician, as well as sample packs. There's so much great stuff that I love about them. You can click the link in the description of this episode, or just go to otherrecordlabels.com/Lander. Lander is spelled Landr. And one of the great things they offer is an easy way to get licensing for a cover song. So we're not going to talk about licensing today. I'm going to do a separate video later on about that. But that's not something you need to worry about. When you use a tool like Lander, you click cover song when you're uploading your track, and they take care of the rest for you. And it's super easy, and you just pay one time, and that's it. And so they're the best for that, and you don't need to worry about licensing. So a lot of people are like, I want to do a cover song, but I don't know if I should because I don't know how to get permission. Do I have to actually email Taylor Swift? Do I have to contact James Taylor? Like, how does this work? Well, no, you don't have to worry about that. That's all taken care of nowadays. It was much harder in the old days, or people would just do it and hope they didn't get caught. But today it's super, super affordable to be on the up and up, and it's all automated. It's just a simple process. So that's not something you need to worry about. But today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why I think you should do a cover song if you're an independent artist. First of all, reason number 1 is there's a built-in audience. You can find new fans easier because there is a built-in audience for the artist that you're covering, assuming you're covering an artist that's either way more popular than you or slightly more popular than you or somewhere in between. In which case, obviously, if you cover a song that your friend wrote, that's a little bit different. That doesn't really fall into today's category. That's just, in a way, almost like co-writing, or they wrote a song that you're recording. But when we record something that is from a popular artist, all of a sudden we can now enter into that atmosphere of their fans and tap into those fans. And it's a great way to introduce yourself to those fans. Some fans are a little bit territorial. They don't like people doing cover songs, but a lot of fans are pretty open-minded, and if they enjoy your cover, they're going to maybe dig into your original music. And that's kind of the goal. That's ideally that the folks who discover your voice and your style by way of covering their favorite artist, they might be like, well, what else do you have? And dig into that. And that's like one of the best things. When you release a cover song, you're piggybacking on the popularity of that artist. And so there's a lot of things when people are not going to recognize your name, but they're going to recognize, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. They recognize that song name. They recognize the artist name. And now they're seeing a younger modern artist do it. I'm curious how this is going to turn out. And especially if you're pitching it, as we're going to talk about, with some sort of sonic juxtaposition, then it sparks a little bit of intrigue. As I mentioned, not every music fan wants somebody to cover their favorite artist because, the majority of cover songs are maybe inferior. But there are times when cover songs sometimes match the strength of the original, or in some rare cases exceed it. But I think that the built-in audience might appreciate you honoring their favorite artist, especially if it's like not the Beatles or Bob Dylan. If you are doing a version of a band that's like popular, but maybe not super, super popular, like Yes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they might feel honored that that a younger artist is. It's like I remember when Harry Styles did Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. It's like the most popular, teen. Well, I don't know if he was a teen at the time, but the most popular like young artist of the time is kind of paying tribute to Peter Gabriel, who's a little bit of a deep cut artist. Not everybody knows who Peter Gabriel is. And so to do Sledgehammer, it was kind of like bringing attention to this iconic song. And a lot of Peter Gabriel fans appreciated Harry Styles for doing that. Reason number 2 is that it comes with a lot of social media potential. Cover songs are very social media friendly, especially in using them as reels and stuff. There's something about the fact that we're hearing, and we're going to dig into this deep into this episode, about hearing a familiar song, but done in a modern way. When you tag the original artist too, there's been stories where the original artists have kind of endorsed your cover song. They have just appreciate that you're bringing attention to it. We see that all the time. And so there's a lot of social media potential. And this could be an in-studio performance. I was talking recently about somebody in Label Mates about how when they book studio time as a record label, they try to get the most out of that studio time as possible. And so I did this too. I booked a studio to record an acoustic album. And so we were there for the whole day. I paid for the day. It was a flat rate. And we finished a little early. We did 10 songs live off the floor, which was acoustic versions of an album I had released a year earlier. And so that's what we were in there for, to use the grand piano and to use all of their nice mics for me to record live off the floor. I'm paying a flat rate to be there. We finished a little bit earlier, and it was in the summertime. And I thought, while I'm here, let's do a Christmas song. We'll go live off the floor in the same way we've done these other songs. Let's cover I'll Be Home for Christmas. It's an easy one to do. And then I'll just hang on to it. And when Christmas comes, I'll have a cover song I can release. And so there's, what's great about it is now I have this extra thing that I recorded for free, and we did some photos and a video of it. And so we just had this like social media content. I reluctantly refer to music and art as content, but I have to in today's day and age. So I apologize. But having a cover song and performing a cover song online is a really great way to meet new fans. And obviously we know people who have entire existences online doing cover songs. Number 3 is the commercial viability. We've pretty much touched on it with social media potential and the built-in audience, but Spotify, for some reason, love original covers. That's an oxymoron, but you know what I mean? Like new cover versions of classic songs. And for some reason, they really like that platform, and artists who do really great cover songs have done well on that platform. And it's almost like the algorithm knows what to do. And in fact, when you are submitting a song on Spotify for Artists, there is even actually a section to click cover song. So I think they're kind of looking for that. There's a lot of great playlists out there that really enjoy these songs, especially if like you could put it into a box and say peaceful, relaxing versions, like acoustic covers. That's a huge playlist. So it's like, it might be Don't Stop Believing, but it's done by a young girl playing acoustic guitar, and it's really stripped back and really minimal and much slower than the original version. Well, the algorithm love those things. It's the juxtaposition of sound is what fans really love. You have far more commercial potential in cover songs than you do in originals. I know that's hard to hear. But as a general rule, it's true. You have far more commercial potential in doing cover songs than you do in your own originals. That's not to say we're going to do cover songs for the rest of our lives and nobody should write original music. We'll talk about it's more of a gateway into your original music. And so a lot of artists use cover songs as a way to introduce themselves and to get new fans to check out their original music. It's a means to an end. Now, there are people out there who exist who do cover songs exclusively, and that's okay too. But a lot of people like it as a way to introduce fans to their music. Number 4 is, here's a big one, it's a gateway to sync. The sync licensing opportunities are incredible with cover songs. There is a huge trend in movies and prestige TV to feature cover songs of cover versions of really, really super familiar songs, but done by younger artists, by with more modern production techniques, with more trending instrumentation. So if it's a synth version of an old Paul Simon tune, or if it's like kind of a bedroom pop version of a Tina Turner song or something. There's this, we heard it in Westworld with the Radiohead piano tracks, and there's just so many incredible versions. I'm actually blanking now, but like, especially in trailers where they have like a haunting version of the Rolling Stones, You Can't Always Get What You Want, and sung by a children's choir or like just one young singer. And it's like eerie, It does this incredible thing where it just triggers the familiarity part of our brain, while at the same time, like waking us up, because it's not that it's familiar, but it's completely unique and completely different. And so when you do these like really original style sounding, keep saying original covers, but you know what I mean? It's just really compelling to hear a modern sounding indie song, indie folk song or electronic pop track that's in today's style, yet it's just super familiar tune that multiple generations are familiar with. I think that's one of the reasons why people do cover songs in sync purposes in film and TV so much, is because a lot of these classic, like Hey Jude, is recognized by people, within a 50 to 60 year age range. And a lot of different age groups watch TV shows. And so it goes a long way. It also falls within somewhat unethical gray area of sound-alikes, but not entirely. But it's like if a TV commercial wants to use Hey Jude for their ad, but Hey Jude costs $500,000 to license for a national campaign. So instead, they license your version for $1,000, maybe even $20,000. The publishing side still costs them a bit of money, but your version gets the job done. Maybe it sounds more modern. It still triggers that emotion, but it's like way, way cheaper to license. And it gives them the flexibility to customize the track to their script. They have an instrumental version now. Perhaps the fidelity is a little bit more high quality for HD purposes. And so, some people actually say it's cheaper to license a modern cover of Creep. And it's also cooler in a way to license a modern cover of Creep than it is to actually go to Radiohead and license the song Creep. So cover songs are an incredible gateway to sync licensing opportunities. And number 5, the most important, is it showcases your identity as an artist. The most successful cover songs, as we've discussed, are songs that are done wildly different, but yet entirely familiar. Like I mentioned, there's that slow, sexy version of Creep by Radiohead, or there's the Don't Stop Believing super slowed down version, emo punk versions of popular pop songs and R&B songs. Remember Pop Goes Punk? That's super popular. I've talked about the Harry Styles doing Peter Gabriel. Going back 20, 30 years, Cake doing I Will Survive, one of the greatest covers we've ever heard. Iron and Wine did a super folksy version of Time After Time. My favorite is Jimmy Eat World's version of Last Christmas. This was back before Last Christmas was coming around its 3rd or 4th popularity in time. But my goodness, that version of Last Christmas from Jimmy Eat World is better than the original, in my opinion. Listen, okay, this is very, 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 very important. The worst thing you can do is to copy a song verbatim. Please don't do that. You got to change the tempo. You got to change the feel, swap out instruments, throw in a key change. If there is one, if there wasn't one originally, if there was one originally, don't do the key change. Instead of doing drums, do violin plucks as your percussion. Instead of doing strings, use electric guitars. Instead of using electric guitars, use strings. Record it as if you wrote it. If you're an artist who has a very distinct lo-fi bedroom pop sound, and you're going to cover an artist, ideally not another bedroom pop artist. That's another big mistake I see. And when folk singers cover folk songs, we don't want that. We want punk artists to cover folk songs, and we want folk artists to cover punk songs. We don't want I just don't love that. I just don't think that works anymore. Or I don't think it ever did work. It was just basically you were doing a pale imitation. Record whatever cover songs you're doing as if it was your song to begin with, as if you actually wrote it. So when you write a song, how do you go to produce and track and mix one of your own songs? What type of instrumentations do you do? How do you make this a song that sounds like you? And you want to do that with whatever song you're covering, because then when people hear it, the melody's familiar, the lyrics are familiar, but something's completely unique about it. And that unique thing is you, the artist, and your existing style. And that's important because when we go back to point number one, when someone falls in love with your cover version and then they click through your Spotify artist page and they listen to your original songs, there's a common thread, right? Your original material sounds like the cover song that they fell in love with. Cover songs are incredible promotional opportunities. This is really where you should be putting your efforts. In some genres and for some artists, they can actually be great revenue generators. I know there's some indie artists out there and their most popular songs are cover songs. And they've built incredible independent music careers and they release absolutely stunning original music, but still yet their top songs on Spotify are their cover songs. Keep in mind, this is a little caveat here. Keep in mind, as a record label and an advocate for not only music fans who love covers, you're also an advocate for the artists. And not all artists love cover songs. They can be seen as a cheap way to get attention. They can seem uncreative and uninspiring. I'm on the fence about this. I've done cover songs before and I've really enjoyed doing it, but I don't do them very often. I think I've done 3 in my 20 years of making music. Don't force your artists to do cover songs. I'm speaking to our labels here. People can help them, let them listen to this episode, but don't force them to do cover songs. It may not be right for them. Encourage them to look into it. For some artists, it can be a way to pay tribute in their own unique style to the artists who have inspired them or formed them. So that's just a real, that's just a little piece of advice, is that if you're an independent record label and you're like, yeah, you know what? My artist has a really unique, cool rockabilly style. Wouldn't it be great if they did a modern pop song in that style? Or maybe there's super lo-fi, chill beats. And wouldn't it be cool if we did a cover of a super trending song right now, or maybe an old classic like a Beatles song or something. But for some artists, it might not be for them. Some other things to keep in mind too is when you are recording cover songs, don't use samples that are uncleared. Don't use any of the original recording in your recording. Like you can't just like sample it or put a part of it in there. That's a big no-no. You can't change the lyrics either. I think you might be able to get away with changing like a pronoun here and there, but I really don't think so. So legally, you can't change the lyrics and you can't substantially change the melody either. So you really got to be, watch out for that. Okay, that's it, folks. Those are the 5 reasons why I think you should do a cover song or look into it, or encourage your artist to look into releasing a cover song as somewhat of a promotional opportunity, because there are built-in audiences depending on the size and popularity of the artist they're covering. There's great social media potential and social media content potential in your cover song. There's an incredible commercial viability because Spotify and a lot of the streaming platforms recognize the cover. There's a gateway to sync licensing. Sync and music supervisors really love great cover songs, especially if they can easily get the publishing cleared. And then ideally it showcases the identity of the artist, their original, unique identity, if the cover song is done well. I'm going to put some of this together on a little guide on our website at otherrecordlabels.com/covers. Otherrecordlabels.com/covers. I'll put the link in the description of this episode. When you do have a cover song that's ready to go, Lander is an incredible option to upload a cover song to the streaming platforms and to make sure that you're doing it properly and you're getting the license properly. they take care of all of that for you. And so if you're thinking about doing that, go to otherrecordlabels.com/Lander and you can check out a subscription with them. I'm a big fan. I'm going to do some videos about, and I'm going to do a walkthrough video on how to upload a cover song. I have a cover song that I'm going to put back up online. I'm going to see how easy that is to use Lander for that. So I'll be publishing that on our YouTube page in a couple of days. Keep an eye out for that. And let me know. You can send me an email if you've had success with a cover song, or post it in our Facebook group. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for listening.